Okay. Be quiet. Is Yaldaboth and Enlil or Yahweh the same? Leave this alone.
I believe that Enlil would be the sun. So Yaldabaoth is Saturn, Kronos. Saturn, Kronos, Dogon call him Ogo. That deity's son would be Zeus or Jupiter or Thor, and the Sumerian equivalent to that, I believe, should be Enlil.
Okay. Will you be selling the DVD? No, I don't sell DVDs, but it will be on my website. So yeah, the gathering will be on my website. It'll be up there by Friday. I'll give y'all more information on that. How they want to know how to get in touch with you. How would they get in touch with you for the readings?
You can contact me on Instagram. Instagram RFG _Chosen One, the number one. That's RFG _Chosen One, the number one. Also, you can contact me through email. I have 2 different emails. One of them was the one he just put on the screen. The other one is rfg.theheretic@gmail.com. So that's rfg.theheretic@gmail.com.
Okay. Next question. Can you ask him what is expected of the ancient ones who came back in this carnation? What is expected of us, RFG?
We have to do everything in our power to work together as a unit to the best of our ability. And we have to do what we can to gain the proper resources necessary to be able to survive on this earth without the help of any corporate government. And that's just for starters.
Excellent. Let's get to another question. I'm really loving this show, y'all. This is like and I'm still tired from the gathering. This show gave me some energy that I needed, man. Somebody wants. Are you familiar with medicinal astrology? Are you familiar with that?
Medicinal astrology. Now, I learned about astrocartography about 2 years ago, but I've never heard of medicinal astrology.
Yeah, I never heard of that. That's a new one. Somebody wants to know, does fruit consumption raise your vibration?
Absolutely. And according to my research, fruits are what we're supposed to be eating the most. And when this world was somewhat of a utopia, when Atlantis and Lemuria were here, that's what we consumed most was fruits and liquids. Yeah, fruits, nuts and grains and liquids.
Indeed. All right. RFG, what are your thoughts on catalysms and major asteroids events in our past, and what timeline are we looking at in the near or distant future?
Did you mean to say cataclysms?
Yeah, I think that's what he meant.
Okay. So, there's a chance. I mean, there's always that chance. But honestly, if it does happen, I don't think it's going to be natural. I think it's going to be planned out and orchestrated by the government. I think they're going to stage a scenario where they say multiple cities were hit with nuclear weapons, and they're going to drop bombs. The thing is, they're not going to be nuclear, and then they're going to lie and say the word nuclear to get people all riled up and fearful and in a state of panic. So, that's called a nuclear scare. So I see that happening, and then them supposedly getting the right to round people up because of that. I think that's more so the agenda. Now, like I said, there could be an asteroid that could hit anywhere on the earth at any given moment. If it happens, You know, I don't think that anything would be capable of destroying all life on this earth, but you know, it could happen. You know, 50% of life could be gone. 80 to 90% can be gone.
Right. So let me ask you this. So you said earlier about the Archons not wanting to destroy their loose factory. Who's responsible, which is the Earth realm? Who's responsible for these great resets, RFG, when the great floods happen and the whole shit gets flooded out? Who's responsible for this then?
The same deities that are responsible for piloting those UFOs, those UFO crafts.
Uh-oh. Explain that. Come on, man.
There's multiple, you know, this has been happening for decades. UFOs love to show up over football games, soccer games. They love to show up in major war zones. The UFOs, you know, they love to show up on farms. You know, if there's, like I said, if there's animals being eaten, or carnivores eating herbivores, you know what I'm saying, you're going to see different forms of UFOs above because they're feeding off of loosh. And the reason why they show up over football games is because during a football game, the fans have a lot of powerful emotions. They really, really want their team to win. And then on the other side, you know, the other fans, they want the other team to lose. And so there's a whole bunch of powerful emotions, powerful frequencies coming from the fans in the football stadium. And it was the same thing during the gladiatorial games, you know, almost 2,000 years ago.
Right.
UFOs appearing over that because they need the loosh. So we're going to see a lot of UFOs around mass conflict, you know, usually mass conflict. And it was the same thing with the Predator movies. If you go back and watch the Predator movies, the Predator loved to show up when the humans were fighting, when the humans were conducting warfare. You see what I'm saying? So that's all dealing with loosh, harvesting and feeding upon those negative frequencies.
Are any of our galactic relatives, or are there old souls who are piloting these UFOs, in your opinion?
Oh, I mean, in order to be inside of one, you either have to be a so-called Men in Black, or you have to be, you know, one of them. You have to be a form of an extraterrestrial. Now, whether that's a draconian, whether that is a gray or an insectoid or one of the gods from Sirius, I believe it depends on the shape of the UFO. So I had a video on my Patreon little over a year ago, and I was breaking down the different shapes of the UFOs, and I was making a statement that I believe the cylinder, the UFOs that are shaped like a cylinder or shaped like a sphere, they come from Sirius. And you know, that's extremely high level, extremely, that right there is interdimensional. Those are interdimensional crafts, the cylinders and the spheres, and they have origins at the, you know, the Sirius star constellation. Now, if the UFO is just a disc shape or a triangle, that means it's being crafted by draconians, insectoids, or the Men in Black. Anytime you see a craft, all right, that, or a UFO that's a triangle shape, a disc shape, those are being piloted by insectoids, grays, draconians, maybe sometimes the Men in Black, but mostly it's the insectoids, the grays, or the draconians. So it basically depends on the shape of the craft to tell you, you know, who's piloting it.
Speaking of the all of these different groups, the sectoids, draconians, and all of that, what is the Lyrians or Larians? I hope I'm saying it right. You know what I'm talking about. What is the Lyrians' connection to the Fire Nation? Since we talked about the Fire Nation and the Kundalini, is there a direct connection between the Lyrians and the Fire Nation here on Earth?
There's a deep connection. When you speak about the Lyrians are the deities that have the human DNA and then the feline DNA, and their homeworld was attacked by, I'm not sure if they're draconians or what extraterrestrial race they come from, but the Lyrian homeworld was attacked, so the Lyrians had to be accepted onto the Sirius star constellation. So you have Lyrians that are still dwelling in the Lyria star constellation. You also have Lyrians that are in dwelling in Sirius. I don't believe too many of them are on the Earth's surface at this time. Now, back in the ancient day, when the Sphinx was built and things of that nature, when you had beings like Sekhmet roaming the Earth, they were here in abundance. I don't think they're here anymore.
So that they don't incarnate as humans in this realm?
Well, they can. No, okay, I see what you're saying. You're talking about on a spiritual level. Yeah, they can get incarnate here.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Let's get to. We're gonna do 2 more questions, then we're gonna get out of here. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat tonight. Which ones come from inner Earth? They want to know.
The insectoids.
Okay. That's it.
You have the draconians there as well, but the draconians, they don't originate from inner Earth. The draconians, they come from Orion.
Okay. They want to know, do you have a YouTube channel?
It's like I do, but I don't use it. I'm trying to actually break away from YouTube, and I'm trying to build my Rumble channel up more. So when I get this gaming channel started, I'm going to be promoting the Rumble channel on the gaming channel.
Right. Indeed. Last question. Are old souls less affected by retrogrades since they've been here before? I've wondered that before, and I've asked that before. I'm glad this person is asking this tonight.
That's actually true. That's very true. Because an older soul is going to have, more higher level of knowledge, wisdom, also a stronger aura field. So anything that happens around us, especially if we're on the right frequency, we're on a high vibrational path, we're going to be less affected by any kind of demonic frequencies that are going to be spread in society. So when you talk about things like a full moon or a blood moon or a solar eclipse, those things are going to affect the people that are putting poison in their body. The people who are filled with, mostly low frequencies, and people who are on a parasitic vibration.
Indeed. Yeah. I'm gonna do another question real quick because this is real good.
Okay.
RFG, what are your thoughts on Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice. Oh man, it's so deep, man. So deep. Beetlejuice is actually a star in the sky. It's actually a star in the sky, and it was held in high regard by multiple indigenous American cultures. And they say when Beetlejuice hits a supernova, there's going to be a mass amount of light codes sent to this realm, sent to this earth, mass amounts of awakening, and an extreme overthrow of the parasitic control over this realm. Most of that, like I said, it's going to be tied to the light codes that were sent to this Earth starting in 2012, and Betelgeuse, that Betelgeuse star, it hitting supernova, is also extremely connected to this awakening. Now, Betelgeuse, the movie specifically, it is directly linked to the reincarnation trap that has been created on this Earth. So when the movie first starts out, the original one, you had Adam. I forgot what his girlfriend's name was, but I think the man was named Adam. And they died in a car crash, and their souls went through a wormhole onto the planet Saturn. And when they landed on the planet Saturn, this creature rose from the sand, and it was a giant sandworm. And the sandworm was trying to consume Adam and his woman. And Adam and his woman, they literally had to evade the sandworm, run for their lives, and go to a door so they could leave the planet Saturn. Now that door represents an interdimensional portal, a wormhole away from Saturn. Now, if that sandworm would have eaten Adam, Adam would have been reincarnated in a new body on the Earth. And that's what they don't tell you about Betelgeuse, about that scene in Betelgeuse. They literally showed you the deity, the worm deity on Saturn, which is Yaldaboth, how he tries to consume souls after they die. And then when Adam evaded, that sandworm, and he went to that door, that was an interdimensional portal that sent him back to Earth. Now, when he went back to Earth, he can only go to the fourth dimensional realm and speak to those deities because he doesn't have a physical body. So when he was speaking to the deities in the fourth dimension, he had to speak to these beings called the case workers. The case workers were archons. They were telling the souls, do you want to come back to Earth in this body? Do you want to come back to Earth playing this role in the Matrix? Do you want to come back to Earth and as this successful person? You see what I'm saying? Those were the case workers. And there was a scene when they were showing the case workers where they actually showed a gray extraterrestrial. They showed a gray extraterrestrial in that scene, showing you that the grays are also capable of going in and out of the third and fourth dimensional realm, the third and the fourth dimension. See, because when Adam was meeting with the case workers, that's the fourth dimensional realm where the archons assign the souls, what bodies they're going to take up in this realm.
Yeah, damn, brother. Wow, we need a whole Beetlejuice breakdown from you on the show, man. you just went in, man. You just went in.
Beetlejuice is super deep, man.
It's interesting that y'all asked about Beetlejuice. Yo, I had a telescope that I've been procrastinating on putting up. I just put it up today, and I'm gonna do some stargazing tonight. So I look forward to that. I would do some stargazing. But listen, man, RFG, man, it's always a pleasure having you on the channel, my brother.
Greatly appreciated. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I want the people to go out there and support you. Go to the brother's Instagram. The brother's Instagram is popping. Before we get out of here, one more time, leave the people your information as far as your Instagram. Tell them how they could get a reading from you, and also tell them how they can support you via PayPal, my brother.
Okay, you can reach me at RFG_Chosen One, the number 1 on Instagram. And you can also reach me 2 different emails. I have amoapoxia@gmail.com. That's M as in Mandy, OAPOKSIA@gmail.com. Also RFG.theheretic@gmail.com. And if you need a chart reading, you need to message me on Instagram, DM me on Instagram, and I'll give you the full details. I also need your full date of birth, the exact time of day you were born, or close to the time of day you were born, and then the location of your birth. Now, I know there's a lot of people who want their charts read, but they can't get a hold of their birth certificate and you know their parents don't remember the time when they're born, and when that happens, I'm not able to do the reading.
Okay. All right. Well, and you left your information for PayPal. You already left that, right?
Yeah, that's amoapoxia@gmail.com on PayPal.
Okay. And spell that one more time for them, just so they'll know.
That's A, and then M is in Mandy, and then O, A, P, and when I say P, I mean P is in Paul, OKSIA@gmail.com. So that's AMOAPOKSIA@gmail.com.
Indeed. All right. With that being said, my brother, and I still got to do